From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Well, some good news on the COVID-19 vaccine front this Friday. Montana reaches a milestone. State educators get a fast pass to vaccines, and Governor Gianforte says Montana is leading the country in reopening schools. While the majority of Billings students have been in school this year, the governor was in the Magic City today to touch on the importance of students getting back to class. Q2's David J. was there.
Governor Greg Gianforte and Superintendent Elsie Arntzen receive a welcome at Elder Grove School.
I know some good games we could play, said the cat. I know some new tricks, said the cat in the hat.
The governor read to Mrs. James' first grade class.
And it was just a delightful experience.
We are very excited to have you visit us.
Then the governor and the superintendent heard from parents, teachers, and administrators at the Lincoln Center.
It was interesting to hear the amount of work that went into making a decision about how to open schools, whether we should go with a hybrid or full-time or completely remote. And in the end, I think they made the right decision to have kids back in the classroom learning, because the kids benefited and the families benefited.
We know that a remote world has not probably been the best world for some of our students, and having more of a normal implementation of education with a classroom teacher in front of you is the best way to go.
And they say nearly all Montana public schools have gone back to in-person classes.
They made courageous decisions this year to keep the schools open so that parents could continue to work, students could continue to learn.
It is about the union, it is about teachers, it's about families, and it's about the administration and the community, but more importantly, the focus is on student. Move them forward so they can stay in Montana, so that we can reopen our economy, not just this year, but for many, many years to come.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
All right, thanks so much, David. Now, before flying into Billings, the governor was in Great Falls to sign the TEACH Act, which provides $2.5 million in incentives to improve teachers' starting pay in the state. Well, Montana teachers and staff can now sign up for COVID-19 vaccines. That news today from U.S. Senator Jon Tester. The federal retail pharmacy program will provide vaccines separate from Montana's state allocation, which has not yet included educators. Now, educators can find the nearest pharmacy at vaccinefinder.org to make an appointment. For a full list of local participating pharmacies, head to this story at ktvq.com. Also, Montana moves into Phase 1B of its vaccination plan on Monday. That includes people 60 and older and those between the ages of 16 and 59 with certain medical conditions. And Montana reached a significant milestone today as the number of Montanans fully vaccinated surpassed the total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases. Nearly 106,000 Montanans are now fully vaccinated, while the state reports just over 101,000 total cases. The state death toll from the virus has reached 1,392, with recoveries approaching 98,000. MSU Billings has announced it will hold an in-person commencement ceremony this spring. Graduates and attendees will be required to wear masks, but there is no limit on how many people can attend. The ceremony will be broken into two parts in an effort to keep numbers to a minimum. In addition to the graduates, the university has also invited all 2019 and 2020 graduates who were not able to have an in-person commencement to join. Well, after a relatively obscure existence for more than 6 decades, the Heights Water District, the small government entity that runs the Heights water system, finds itself in the headlines. From a $4 million overdue bill with the city of Billings to revelations that the water board has never held an election and new accusations that the board's policies and fees are stifling growth in the Billings Heights. Q2's Jay Cohn is on special assignment to help us wade through the muddy waters.
The more we ask and the more we talk to developers and investors and realtors, this frustration that the Heights Water District is impeding development in the Heights through arbitrary fees, arbitrary processes, and lack of transparency. I live in the water district, I'm a customer, and I'm not willing to stand for an entity that's supposed to be serving our community standing in the way of progress.
Heights Task Force Chair Jennifer Owen is asking the same question that has echoed along Main Street in the Heights for decades. And that is, why does this part of town end up losing out when it comes to new amenities and businesses? Owen says much of that blame is due to the fact that the Heights has a reputation as a tough place to do business, starting first and foremost with the Heights Water District.
I think there are good people who are trying to do their best, but there is just a genuine lack of transparency and openness and accountability. There's not public announcements, there's not recruitments, there's not a desire to bring people in and ensure that everything operates openly. I just think that has to come to a stop.
Former Billings City Councilman Larry Brewster got so frustrated trying to deal with the Heights Water Board that now as a state lawmaker, he's changing the law that governs special water and sewer districts. Montana has more than 400 such districts statewide.
I didn't want it to appear to be just about the Heights Water District, but really about everywhere. And after I put it in, I got calls from a lot of places in the state who said they were having the same kinds of problems as we were in Billings. So then it had a little more importance to it.
Brewster's bill passed the House last week on a final vote of 95-2. It's now scheduled for its first Senate hearing next Wednesday. During discussion of the bill, Brewster referred to the Heights Water District as the poster child for disaster.
We really need to work to make it affordable for people to invest in the Heights and put businesses there, because none of them are going to come if they look at a $300,000 bill or a $200,000 bill just to get a water service in a building that already had the water service.
Developers and realtors MTN News spoke with pointed not to the rates Heights Water customers pay, but rather to the Water District's annexation and system development fees, which they liken to a cover charge. Heights Water Board President Wynn Pippin says in her 20-plus years on the board, no one has ever brought up the issue.
Nobody came and said, wow, we feel you're way out of line. How many people called Duke about it? None. How many called Peyton about it? None. How many called me about it? None. But it's a big issue? Really? So why won't you talk to us about it then?
As for complaints over a lack of transparency and compliance with the open meetings law, again, Pippin says it's the first she's heard such complaints. Regarding accusations the board is anti-development, Pippin says that simply doesn't hold water.
Business development involves a lot besides just water. So what is it besides water that's holding businesses back from developing? They're saying it's all on water, and we're saying show us where we are the limiting factor. But yet they've never come and even asked us. So it's hard to be put in the corner and blamed for something when no one will even sit down and talk to us about it.
One of the most astonishing facts is that the Heights Water Board has not held an election, maybe ever. But that's about to change as ballots will be mailed out next month to customers and property owners in the Water District.
I don't know about you, but when I get to the page of the ballot where candidates are running for the local water and sewer district, I would just ignore it. Do I know these people? Does it really matter? Well, the answer is yes, it does matter. They say that real change starts at the ballot box. Voters in the Heights Water District have a chance to kickstart that change coming up on May 4th. In the Billings Heights, I'm Jay Cohn reporting for MTN News.
All right, thanks so much, Jay. Now, the Heights Water District is the largest of its kind in Montana with more than 5,800 service connections. In the upcoming election, 8 candidates, including 3 incumbents, are running for 5 seats on the board. Voters get to pick 3. Up next on tonight's MTN 530 News on Q2, a first-of-its-kind community fridge is now open in the Magic City and serving nutritious meals so all may eat. Plus, we're going to hit the mats and hoops for all the sports action on this true March Madness Friday.
Well, it happened today. We finally hit 60 degrees officially at the Billings Airport. That's the first time that's happened since we had that spike in the temperatures on Groundhog's Day. Look at the forecast through the weekend coming up